Okay, yesterday we ended off with the Maisa with Pelegish Begiva. The Maisa, unfortunately, Pelegish Begiva began with the whole Indian of being Matal Emi Servetach Besa, that this person put too much fear in his house. He put too much fear in his house, and as a result, Pelegish ran away, and it put into a series of events which ended up causing tens of thousands of people dying in Klal Yisrael. Amar Rabbi Yehuda Amar Rav, four lines to the bottom. Kol Matal Emi Servetach Besa, safe ubali de shleisha averos. You're going to come to three averos. Gilei Arroyos, Shvichas Damim, the Chil Shabbos. Anyone who places too much fear in his house will come to these three severe averos: Gilei Arroyos, Shvichas Damim, and Chil Shabbos. Let's see Rashi, guys. Gilei Arroyos, Kishemagia Zman Tfilasa, the Eis Sina. When it comes to the time of women going to the mikvah and it's very cold, she'll be scared to tell her husband I wasn't tribal. She's a nida. So that's how Amy Yisera, his over making her so angry that she's so scared. It may lead to what you boil a nida. You being always give cars. That's what it means. Shvichas damim kihacha, like over here, for example, right? Like the shvichas damim happened over here that it caused murder. She'll be scared and she'll run away from him. Then I fell as ba'achas hapchasim, my begesh she'll fall off a bridge or into a ditch and she'll die. Chil Shabbos, hamayim shemedalekes ner, pam shemedalekes ner oy mevasheles mishachashecha. She'll end up cooking or lighting ner when it's already Shabbos with the amasai. She forgot to go ahead and light ner. She didn't prepare the food well, and she's scared of her husband who's going to fly off the deep end. So you may come to go ahead and cook or light who any day, and he won't know. Okay, so that's how Amy Yisera can lead to three very severe averos. Amar Rabba Barachana Hadam Rabbanon. Three things a person has to do. He has to ask his wife, did you go ahead? You mafish the Maisa so we can eat on Shabbos, right? Because you can't do it on Shabbos. I'll stick in mana. Ravtem, they make an Erev Chatzeris, again, carry it to the Chatzah. Like, you lived in there, right? So all of these things, so you have to say them in a very, very benichusa, in a very quiet way. You have to say it in a very quiet way. It seems to be that there's this is my own thought. There is one of the reasons that you write that a woman likes candles is because of shalom bias. And I heard from Rabbi Dinsky. I don't remember where he quoted it from, but he goes, every Erev Shabbos by Chashecha, men subconsciously get angry at their wives because the chait of the Eitz Hadas took place at that time. And it's built into the system, you hear? And Mamish, the chait of Eitz Hadas, Mamish took place right before Shabbos. So built into the system is men are angry at their wives. So you light the ner because of shalom bias, right? It's an amazing thing. So Memela is be very geschmack over here. The natural thing is to be what? Is to be angry at that time. When do you say go ahead? It's right then, right? So since the natural thing is to be angry, right? This is geschmack of blaggable stuff. So this is the natural thing is to be angry. You have to go against your base nature to say it in a very kind way. I think it's very geschmack of shot, guys. Yeah, I have to find that source. Rabbi Dinsky, I don't have the source. I remember clearly saying it. He said, the three mitzvahs of a woman, chala, nida, and adlakas neiros is to go ahead and be mechapet for the chayv v'yetzadas. So those are the three things. The chayv v'yetzadas. Mamish, the Adam was created every Shabbos. We had the Gemara in it's in Saita. I think the Gemara in Saita or Sanhedrin, one or the other. I don't remember. It says the things that took place, and it was created then. I think it was Saita. In this hour, that thing when it occurred. Okay, anyway. So okay, no, if you're going to get angry, she's going to say, "Of course I did it." Amar Rav Ashi, Anolo Shamili, Hod Rabbi Rav Chana. I didn't hear about Rabbi Rav Chana. However, Kayamti Misvara, I myself, Misvara said you should speak to your wife Nichusa Davka at that time. Amar Ravo, Lo'ilam Al Yatal Adam Emi Serbetech Beisa. A person places too much fear into his house. Lo'ilam Al Yatal Adam Emi Serbetech Beisa. A person should not place too much fear in his house. Right? Why? Because one time, Shari Adam Gadol. Hitler Misebetech. So an Adam Gadol, a very chashuv person, he placed a lot of fear into his house. Vechilu a Dava Gadol, and he was fed a Dava Gadol. We'll see what that is soon. Umanu, and who exactly is this great person? It was Reb Chanina ben Gamliel. It was the Tan Reb Chanina ben Gamliel that he was fed a Dava Gadol because he placed too much fear in his house. Now, could it enter your mind possibly that he was fed something that is Maichalis Yisurais? Hashta bei masan shot tzadikim. In HaKadosh Baruch Hu, maybe takola al yadam, the donkey of Pinchas ben Yair, which we had in Yevamis and Ksubis and the main sugis in Chulin, that would said what? That he didn't refuse to eat. Because why? Because it wasn't upgeshet, because it was untied. He refused to do that. Nonetheless, so how's it possible that Chanina ben Gamliel would have eaten Dava Gadol? Doesn't mean he ate it, but they wanted to. And what did they want to feed him? Eva min achai. The Dava Gadol was Eva min achai. Look at Rashi, Eva min achai. Shenever mehem Eva min ashchuta. They lost a piece of meat from a geshachten animal. Because of his fear that he placed upon them, they cut off an eva from a live animal. They view tachtav and they brought it in place of the geshachten shlayavin that he should understand, and they almost fed it, but obviously he didn't eat it. But he didn't eat it. Now, why is it called eva min achai? Why is it called a Dava Gadol? Says the Maharsha, because we are mitzuvah maichalas yisuros. We can't eat basa b'chala, we can't eat nevela, we can't eat a treifa. Goyim could eat ma'achas asuras, except one. They can't eat eiv min achai. It's a Dava Gadol. Says the Maharsha beautifully. Even a goy can't eat eiv min achai. Even a goy can't eat eiv min achai, which is yeah. There's a fabulous Tosfos over here. It's a Gvaldiga Kasha, guys. Look at the top Tosfos. Hashta behema shel tzadikim. Al Rabbeinu Tam. The loy parich ella gabe midi de achila. The genai hu litzadik she'oichel dvar isur. Ulahachi loy parich gabe Rabbi Shmuel she'kara v'hita beperakam de Shabbos. Why did Rabbi Shmuel say? He says he could learn by. Why can't a person learn by a lamp? Because we're worried when it goes down, he's going to go ahead, incline the lamp, and he's going to cause more oil to burn. Says Rabbi Shmuel, I'm not worried about it. What happened? He did it. Why don't we ask over there if HaKadosh Baruch Hu is not going to bring by a chait by an animal? Certainly the great Rabbi Shmuel will come to do it. The Rabbi Yehuda ben Tabai Shahara gave Zoimam. The family had a Gemara in Makis and Chagiga that Yehuda ben Tabai, there was two Edom, and one of them said Imona Yisem. We know that Allah is Ein Nasas Laimim, Ashizum Shneim. You have to do both, the whole set. He did one and he killed one. Why don't we ask the same question that HaKadosh Baruch Hu is not going to go with Wad and we got the color? So the answer is the Elagabe Midi Achila. It's only regarding Achila, fellas. It's only regarding Achila that HaKadosh Baruch Hu won't bring it about. No, it's Ein Achinami. You can kill somebody. Ein Achinami, you can be Mechal Shabbos. And then HaKadosh Baruch Hu will not protect you. But Midi Dachila would protect you. Midi Dachila would protect you. I think this is Pshat. I thought this is Pshat. We spoke out that when you eat something, whether you did it b'oinus, whether you did it b'shoigeg, it doesn't make a difference. It's metamtein b'leiv. We had that Maisa with Leilena Munsi that a few years ago, the terrible Maisa, you can do all tshuva you want. The bottom line, if you ingest something that is meichli saris, it's a terrible thing. So man, HaKadosh Baruch Hu is going to protect somebody from this. Other averis, this tshuva for, right? But good is tshuva for eating that also. But the effect of the timtum alev, that there's no going back on, and therefore dafka midi de achila. Now I heard this. Again, don't quote me, but I'll keep it on. I heard this. Don't quote me. When we had the whole Maisa with the bugs, when the bugs came out and they started putting filters on everything because the bugs in the water, one of the questions they asked was, how could there have been bugs in the water if Rav Moshe Feinstein, Zeichat Tzadik Kadosh Levracha, would drink water, obviously, and HaKadosh Baruch Hu go ahead and fed it Tzadik what? A Davarasa. How's that possible? And they found out later that in his house the taka was a filter. In his house, how do you filter? I mean, this is what I heard. Don't quote me on this, but this is what I heard. It's a fascinating that it would be Kodesh Baruch Hu would protect Rav Moshe.
The whatever they're called, projects on Grand Street had filters. You know, the main had a filter coming in.
There you go.
In our old days.
There you go. And so there you go.
Protected us also.
What about the other crap you did? Anyway,
That was no protection. That was no kilo.
whatever it is.
No, the filter. I'm saying.
Why would there be Shmuel be granted protections? He was flaunting the Chacham.
He wasn't flaunting. Again, he would be again because he's Rabbi Shmuel. He's Rabbi Shmuel. Great. No, it wasn't like that. He felt that it wasn't shaykh to him, but he learned otherwise. But again, he was saying HaKadosh Baruch Hu is going to go around and protect you, so he's going to protect you. Again, I think just it's very worthy to note that again that eating things and being careful about these things, it's a huge thing. This time of the year, I got to tell you something. Everyone has ants. I don't know, but everyone you see them right now, they're coming out. Your mama's got to be careful. Your mama's, what you eat an ant, you get 5 malchus. You eat an ant, you get 5 malchus, and they can find their way into your food very easily. And it's not only the seeing them. You got to be very, very careful. And like ants are very problematic.
Average age over here, they puree the food at this point, so it's grinded up. It's not a problem.
That's hysterical.
And now playing the role of mayor, we have Yankel. Mayor, someone's taking your position.
You would have known. You could have been the Friday night entertainment.
Because it stopped at 7 o'clock. Because it's always.
Yankel.
You're digging the hole a little bit.
Anyway, so a young whippersnapper. Okay, says Shalchei Mar Ukval Rebbe Loza. B'nei Adam ha'oyim v'malai. Says there are people who are going ahead and standing connecting me. Now, Mar Ukval was the Reish Galusa, and he was like a head honcho, and he was having problems with certain individuals in the government. Rashi says they were macharef, magadefim, they cursed him, it was not emotional abuse. He was being emotionally abused. And he wanted to know, what was the Shali center of Elazar? Ubiyadi lamasum lamalchus. I can go ahead, Rod, and give him over to the Malchus. I saw from the Shem the Chidah and the Pesach Inayim that had they been physically causing him harm, then he could have given over to the Malchus. But over here, that's why Rashi said, Dafka macharif magadef. It wasn't any physical damage. It was only what? Emotional damage. What? I just told you, if they're going ahead and they're paining you, causing you damage directly, then you could. Now, so says the Gemara, Mahu, so Sartate, this is probably why you brought this in the first place. We digressed into the sugya because of Sirtut. We digressed into the sugya because of writing of pasuk with the need to write the pasuk with lines. That's how we got into this. And so there he says in the following: if somebody just gets this Gemara out because it always has the psukim, so I can read them correctly, so Meir doesn't get upset. Okay, so because of the fact Amarti, there's a pasuk in the Hillim. Amarti Eshmara derachai mechatoi bilshoini Eshma lefi machsaim ba'oid Roshel lenegdi. So what's pshat? Afal pisha Roshel lenegdi. Even though the Rosh is opposite me, Eshma lefi machsaim. I'll go ahead and be careful to close my mouth. So Rav Elazar did not give Mar Ukfor a heta to go ahead and be Moisa. Shalach le kometzar le tuva. It was getting worse. Said Mar Ukfor, they make it worse to me. So I can't take it anymore. Deikam bahu. So Shalach le, he told him the following pasuk, a pasuk in Tehillim, Doim la Hashem hischaluloi. What does that mean? Doim Hashem hischaluloi. V'hu yapilim l'cha chalalim. Right? And HaKadosh Baruch means be quiet. Doim Hashem, be quiet. V'hu yapilim l'cha chalalim. And he will imapel on you, it will make fall for you, chalalim, dead people, he'll take care of them. Hishkim v'herev aleihem, the Beis HaMedrash, go to Beis HaMedrash, for kolam aleihem. Adav Yotzim Pir Rav Elazar, and Asnu l'gniva, koila gniva, who had been going ahead, the one being abusing, Rabbi Mar Ukva, he was taken out in chains by Malchus for Hariga. Sholchalei l'Mar Ukva, they sent to Mar Ukva, Zimron minolan da Asar. How do you know music is Asar? Rashi says, this is the sugya we had in Saita, fellas. Zimra l'shoyru bebeis hamishtois. How do you know that's usher? Remember, we said there's a suda, makam suda, and then there's the base mishtois where they would drink. How do you know it's usher there to drink? How do you know? So Sarted, he went ahead and he took a sirti scratched on the parchment of Kasavlu, al tismach Yisrael el gil ka'amim, right? Al tismach Yisrael el gil ka'amim. Don't be gil, don't be gila, don't be happy like the amim. As they when they drink and they play music, don't do that. The Gemara, the pasuk that we had in Slaita, Yishir lo yishta yayin, right? Says Yemar sheichel l'shaisa, it's going to make it bitter. And for the Gemara email here from the latter pasuk, Havamina Hanimili Zimra Demana. Then I would have said Dafka Shira, which is al yedei musical instruments. Aval de Puma, but singing Shari. Kamash Malon that it's not. Again, we look at Taisus over here. It's a little more Knech Zimra Manola and the Asa Pirish Bekuntris the Shari based on Mishtois V'chei Mashmam at the Komar, right? V'lishalech loy mehacha b'shir lo yishta yayin, right? That means that pasuk with Perak Basra the Slaita Tran Mishnah Butler Sanhedrin. When the time they were Mavatal Sanhedrin, Batal Shir beveis and Mishlois, they stopped. Shoma b'shir lo yishta yayin. V'roy lahachme b'chayotza. It's right to be machme. It says Taisus a psak. It's right to be machma b'chayotza, meaning even not in the beis Mishlois. Now who be Yushalmi davi koyim v'damayich bezimno shemis anig b'yoyser. He got into trouble because why? He was misanig b'yoyser too much. So that one of the says it's only us of your royal bekach to go ahead and play music all the time. However, the shir shal mitzvah, the shir of a mitzvah would be permitted. So that would be permitted for music. So again, we are wondering where the heta for music is. So Rav Zakitinsky's son is a very chashuv younger man. He sent his father a whole list, and the only shuv that came over was Rebelsky's. Rebelsky writes in the Shulchan Alevi, he says that bisman hazeh people are prone to depression and prone to sickness if they wouldn't have music, and that's the heta bisman hazeh for people to have music. But again, concerts is not so pashut. Rapam was not a fan. It's a low pashut. If you want to do without it, I don't know. Again, I'm not talking about to do, but I'm just saying I'm really happy I'm not such a big music guy. I think have changed since we were 50 years ago, Harold. So give me that look.
By the who's next?
My son asked about Shabbos last week.
Yeah.
So,
You mean this century?
well, about the story that was running. So Rav says that the Ramah says the Ramah has something that he says that because of the protection like that. So
The Ramah doesn't say that. The Ramah says only that rogel bekach.
he says we're not Rogel. He said
Right.
we're not Rogel.
Right. The Ramah is that it's only this for someone's rogel bekach, and we're not considered rogel bekach. Taisa says do it all the time. That you're drinking, you're listening to this rogel.
Not to listen today's day and age. Probably because they said some other.
Whatever it is, I just think the shaila, it's like from the Gemara, it's pretty straightforward that you can't listen to music, and certainly concerts. I show you a trip from Russia.
Built into the houses, the sound systems and all that.
Don't say all of us. I don't do that.
Because that's for you to make fun of.
I was happy to have Camus put some insulation in the house that didn't freeze. Remember that bedroom? You remember my bedroom?
And the cement.
Yeah. Right.
You don't miss it.
I do. Okay. Anyway, that's your sound system. I still can't believe you survived the snake. I can't believe you survived that. I cannot believe that. Strike, I would have had a heart attack. Anyway, weiter. Amalei Rav Huna bar Nosson Rav Ashi. My dichsiv. Now, this is name of cities, guys. These are names of cities in Yeshua. These are cities in the Chelik of Yeshua. My dichsiv, the following pasuk. Kina, Vidimona, Ve'ad Oda. Amalei. So Rav Ashi told Rav Huna bar Nosson, Miss Vasa Eretz Yisrael kachashiv. These are cities in Eretz Yisrael. So Amalei. So Rav Huna bar Nosson said to Rav Ashi, said to him, don't you think I know that? Rav Gavia me'argiza amar ba haima, that kol. In other words, now he's darshaning the words of the pasuk, guys. The word kina, kol sheyesh like kina al chaverei. Anyone who has a grudge, a grievance against his friend, and then v'dimoina, the lashon of doim, v'doimein, and he doesn't go ahead and he's quiet. Ad Oda Shoichin Adei Ad, the one who's what? Who's Shoichin Adei Ad, Oisaladin will take care of him. So you look at the word, the pasuk, Kina, the one who has a grievance against his friend, Vidimayna, and remains silent. Ad Oda Shoichin Adei Ad will go ahead and take care of it. Amalei Elamiata. Now there's other pasukim there about the cities. It says the city of Siklag Umadamana Bisansana Hachanami. How are you going to darshan that? So Amalei, sir. If Huna told him, Havi Rav Gavia, Havi Yamaba. If he was here, he would tell us time. So Rav Achim Bei Chuzoy Yamaba, Hachi. Here's where you darshan the pasuk. What does Siklag mean? Kol Mishiesh Leit Sakas Lagim Al Chaverei. His friend is taking away from his food. His friend is stealing from him. He's taking away from his food. So that's Siklag. Anyone has a right, the doimim, and he remains silent, that's the word in Madamna. Shoichin Besneh, the one who Sansana, who resided in the snare, Oisladin. So the same.
First one I understand, someone bothering you, quiet. But he's stealing.
Right.
You need to keep quiet, someone's stealing.
No, I don't. I think it doesn't mean physically stealing. It means like he's raising prices and different, like it's not a subterfuge. That seems to say that Pesach Hashar he's inflating things for you. Amalei Reish Galusa Rav Huna. Now this is very similar to the Gemara guys in the Gemara and the Saita guys. Kalila minal the asa. How do you know Bismana zeh Kalila is asa? Amalei midrabanan. It's all the Rabbanan that now we learned in the last Mishnah there in Saita. The Pul Mishal Aspanyanos in the evasion of the Vespasian. Gazer al Taras Chasanim. They were going on a Taras Chasanim. That is a Taras Chasanim. Bala Iris, and when Iris, remember that was that one bell clapper, whatever that meant, whatever. And Adhachi Kam Rav Huna La'afnuye. So this was all. So we had who was Reish Galusa was there, Rav Huna was there, and Rav Huna told him it's the Rabbanan. So because they were the Rabbanan. Now Rav Huna went to leave and he left, and Amalei Rav Chisda, who was a Talmud of Rav Huna and would not speak in front of Rav Huna, what did he say? Krok Kasiv, the pasuk says. Koi Amar Hashem Elokim, Passer Hametznefes, remove the hat, V'horim Torah and lift up the Torah, Zois Loi Zois, Hashafala, Hagbeya V'agvoya Hashpil. I can't say that quickly. What's the removal of Mitznefes have to remove the Torah? Eloim Lecha, Bisman Shem Mitznefes, Bereish Koyin Gadol. When the mitznefes is on the head of the kohen gadol, meaning the Beis Hamikdash is around, then a Torah b'reish kol adam. Then even the chassan can have an Torah on his head. The stalka mitznefes b'reish kohen gadol. Once the mitznefes leaves, then the stalka Torah b'reish kol adam. So says Rav Chisda, it's more than a dirabanan. It's a divrei Kabbalah. It's a pasuk that says that the Beis Hamikdash is not around anymore because there's no the head of the kohen gadol is gone. So Menela what the Torah of the chassan is gone. So Rav Chisda took it up one level, right? Rav Huna said it's a Rabbanon. He said no, it's a pasuk. Adahachi Yasser Rav Huna Ashachina Davi Yasvei Amalei Elakim Midrabanon Ela Chisda Shmeich V'Chasid Chamilach. In other words, the lashon shvua that is still it is a din. The Rabbanon, it's a din the Rabbanon, but your name is Chisda and you darshan well. It's a nice drasha. You said a nice drasha on this pasuk. Now, what does Rav Chisda do with the Gemara? Guys, Rav Chisda is a Tana. Excuse me, Rav Chisda is not a Moira. He can't argue on a Tana. We have Mefurish and Mishnah says from the time of the invasion of Vespasian, they took away the Teres Chasanim. How can you argue with that? What? So that's the teretz the Gemara will give. That was the Rabbanan. But after the Churban Bayis, then the Ateres Chasana was the Kabbalah. That's when he's applying the pasuk. It's a change in the level of what of strictness, right? That's the pshat, Shagi. That's the pshat. In other words, that's the way we learn. That was the Rabbanan. That was the Rabbanan. But once the base, that was because what because there was the invasion of Vespasian was before the Churban Bayis. His son Titus or nephew Titus took care of things, right? But that's the pshat. That's the way they learn. Ravina Ashke Lemaber Avashi, Davi Godel Kalila Lebarte. He was kind of weaving a klil for his daughter. I guess she was getting married. Amalei so Lemar Hasam Mitznefes V'Hoim HaTorah. So how can you make an Torah for the Kala? Amalei Dumya the Kohen Gadol The Gavre Avo Menashilai. Similar to Kain Gadol, Mustaf is only worn by a male. So that a teres kasanim is only a din in the man, not in the woman. Now the end of the pasuk was a little funny. Ma zois lezois. It says zois lezois hashvala hagbeya hagvaya hashpia. What is zois lezois? Darsha Ravira simnam le mishmei derav Ami v'simnam le mishmei derav Asi b'shosham hakadosh baruch hu Yisrael hasar mitznefes v'harim ma'atara amu malchei ashtos nei hakadosh baruch hu Rebbeinu Shleilam zois lehem Yisrael shekdim l'fanecha b'sinai nasel l'nishma amalehem lo zois lehem Yisrael. This should not be the Yisrael. Shehishpilu es hagvaya, they lowered what that was high. They biu es hashafel. The hemit slim behechel. So no, that's the end of the pasuk where they was deserving to lose their Torah because they set up the Raveris and they set up at slim behechel. Darsha bavira zimnam lishmei deravami v'zimnam amalei mishmei deravasi. My ksiv says the pasuk in Nachum. Kayamar Hashem im shleimim v'chein rabim v'chein Nagzu v'avar v'inisich lo ya'anich oy. That's the pasuk with the Dashon pasuk. Now, what does it say? Emroya Adam Shem Mizaynasa Mitzumim. If you see a person that is Mizaynus is very mitzumsum, is very exact, then v'yasem tzedakah. The kol shkein kshem meruv, he should give tzedakah, and kol shkein when things are good, he should give tzedakah. So that's pshat that he should cut away from his property, and give that property to tzedakah. Not my v'chein v'nazav ava tanu v'shmuel kol hagoyzes min chasa v'yisem tzedakah. Anyone who cuts away from his property gives tzedakah needs some medina shegehenim. We save from the shegehenim. Mashal shtei v'cheles. It's a combination. It's a mashal to two U's, EWES, right? Over mayim. Achas gezuza. One is geshayrin. One is shared. The achas ain't a gezuza, and one is unshorn, right? Gezuza avra. The one that is shorn goes through the mayim. But the one that is what is hairy and wool, because the water is going to saturate it. So to over here, a person gives right difference. A person who gives tzedakah will be safe from Yinashel Gehenna.
Because he's short. His money. He's not loaded with money.
Okay. The end of the pasuk was what the inisech lo ya'anechoid. In v'nisech amar zutra afilu ani am esparnis min tzedakah. Even an ani who's esparnis min tzedakah yaset tzedakah, right? He should give tzedakah, and guess what? He will go ahead, as the pasuk says, la encha oid. Rabbi Yosef Shumi marvelous simani aniyah. So the ani gives tzedakah. He himself will no longer be an ani. Himself no longer will be an ani. Okay, that's a famous agarata. Okay, back to the barn. Okay, so we had let's go end of the Mishnah. Anyone who comes from Chutz La'aretz has to say b'fanei nichtav u'b'fanei nechtam. Correct? Anyone who comes from Chutz La'aretz has to say b'fanei nichtav u'b'fanei nechtam. In front of him, in front of him was signed. Yeah. So what was the boundaries? To the east was Rechem, to the south was Ashkelon, to the north was Akko. Was Akko, to the west we didn't give it because that's the Mediterranean Yam HaGadol. So it's mashma. What's the northernmost town? It's Akko. Northernmost town is Akko. Okay. So let's do something different. Let's look at the picture Rashi gave you, but turn your Gemara. Why are you laughing? Turn your Gemara around. Okay, turn your Gemara around. In other words, turn the Gemara that you should have south facing north, because Rashi has it east to west. Okay, so here's the Gemara's kasha. We're going to describe that Akku's in the north, and to the right side of Akku is Chutz La'aretz. To the left side of Akku, some places are Eretz Yisrael and some places not. But what we need is the road from Akku to Keziv. As you notice, it says Mesila. There was a road from going from Akku to Keziv. Good? So the Gemara's kasha is, you see there's a northernmost town called Keziv, not Akku. That's going to be the Gemara's kasha. So you get an idea of, to the right is Chutz La'aretz, to the left is Eretz Yisrael, and you have Keziv going in that direction. So the Gemara is going to ask that Kasiv is the northernmost. Okay, that's going to be the kasha. Okay, now let's see. The Gemara will make a lot of sense. Remember the Akut. Let's find there. It's Yisrael. Kaima. You mean to say that Akut is in the south of Eretz Yisrael, or in Minu Aleshu? Meaning not that. Of course, Akut is in the north. Meaning it's the northernmost. That's the boundary. That's it. Says the Gemara. 1 second. Minu. To the right, Lemizrach, Haderech, Temeya, Mishum Eretz Amim. Remember, they were geyser on Tumah on Eretz Amim. Upeturim in Amaisa, umin hashvius because it doesn't have kedushas Eretz Yisrael. Actually, until they inform you that no, that it's Eretz Yisrael. Mismoiloi on the left of the Mesila from Akotut the Kaziv, Haderech Tahira Misham Eretz Amim, and Haderech Tahira Misham Eretz Amim, B'chayeves B'maisa B'shvius, Ad Shivad L'chashi Petura. Now I Heichen at Kaziv. So what do you see? You see Kaziv is the northernmost. Rabbi Shmuel, Rabbi Yossi Mishum Aviv Ad Lav Levai, even farther north Lav Levai. Rabbiya with Sua Nafka, the Yov Tanasimana with Sua Nafka. Good, meaning Akko is the northernmost. Akko is a big town. There's a little spritz that goes out called Lat, because we're not going to give that as the boundary. That's only a little bit Sua that went out. The Gemara Kasha, if that's the case, right? The Yohiv Tanasimana Hachi will kind of go ahead and use that simon for a little Masila as a simon. Doesn't in Konami Yav Simana. Pasuk also does. The Chsiv. Okay. Okay, remember we spoke about Pelegish Megiva, guys? You know how many men they were left over from Binyamin? 600. 600 men left over from Binyamin. Now, where'd they get the wives from? They made a shvur that they won't give their daughters to Binyamin. So 400 men of Anshe Gilad did not come to the party. Anshe Yavish Gilad did not come to the meeting to what to do with Binyamin. So then they made the shvur. So they had 400 girls available. That left us with 200. Where'd they get the other 200 girls from? The dancing girls of Shiloh. They went, there was the Mecholis, the girls would dance there, and Binyamin came, they took for themselves wives from there. So it's describing where the locale of the dancing girls of Shiloh was, that's the location. Okay, you have the same thing. Basically, you could take a look at you could turn around, or you don't have to turn around. You have base El, you have Shiloh, then you have Mesila, and that's we're going to use Mesila as a mark, as a landmark. So you see that then you do use it as a marker. That's all we're proving. El Shechema to Shechema, Uminegev Lilavina. V'amar Papal Mizracha Shel Mesila. That it was on the Mizrach of the Mesila, that's what its location was. So you see, you're giving the location. Okay. No, that's a raya. It's a raya. It's a raya. You wanted this. Will you go ahead and the Torah will give a simon from a road? So yeah, they used the Mesila. That's where Shiloh was, east of that road. So then they're using it as a simon. It's not a kash. It's a raya. Now Tani Chada, Hamevi Gebes Svina, Kimevi Beretz Yisrael. Tanya Idach, Kimevi B'chutz Laretz. Okay, guys. You're bringing from Medina to Medina in Chutz Laretz. What's the halacha? You have to say b'fani nechtam? Yes. Medina Eretz Yisrael. You have to say b'fani nechtam? No. You're in a boat. You're in a boat in Eretz Yisrael, in a nahar in Eretz Yisrael. Do we say you're in Eretz Yisrael and you don't have to say? Or do we say since you're not on the ground, right, you do have to say? That's the kasha. Says the Gemara, Tani Chada, one says, maybe Gebes Svina, can maybe Beretz Yisrael, and you don't have to say. But Tanya Idach, another Brisa, can maybe B'chutz Laretz, and you do have to say. Rav Yirmiyah Lekasha, Ha Rav Yehuda, Ha Rabbanan. What the one that says that you have to say is Rav Yehuda. The one that you don't say is Rabbanan. That nan Afa Chutz Laretz Haba B'Svina. Guys, it's talking. You got a boat. This boat is made of earthenware, and you plant on the boat in the earthenware. You use it as a flower pot. You plant on the boat from Afa Chutz Laretz, and now you're in the water of Eretz Yisrael. What's the halacha? Chayiv. That says the Tanakama Chayiv b'Maisa u'b'Shviyas. You Chayiv b'Maisa and Shviyas. Why? Because it's considered like you're in Eretz Yisrael. So Memela, that just like they hold the Indian Trumas and Maisa, you Chayiv in Eretz Yisrael because in Eretz Yisrael, who are dealing in funny nechtam in Eretz Yisrael. Rav Yehuda, Eimesai b'Zman she'asfina gasheshes. When is it considered that you Chayiv? Only if the sfina is mamish on the bottom, that the water is not interspersing between the boat and the plant. If the sfina is not gasheshes, then pata, because you're not considered being an Eretz Yisrael. So who are dealing funny nechtav? Rabbi Yehuda would say you don't have to say it. You do. You would have to say it. Abaya Amar Hava Rabbi Yehuda. They're both Rabbi Yehuda. But like Kasha, Kam Bizman Sfina gasheshes. When is it considered chutz laretz? When this boat is not banked on the bottom. Kan bisman shasvina gasheshes. And when would you have to? When won't you have to say? When won't you have to say? When the svina is gasheshes, and then it's considered what part of Eretz Yisrael.
The thing is, that's not part of it, so only